everyone, Mike Miller with the Herald Times, coming to you from my hotel in New York. We are here in Manhattan right now. Just got in today, still awaiting the arrival of Herald Times outstanding senior photojournalist Chris Howell. Bit of a travel snafu early this morning in Indianapolis. Got there, should have seen this coming. Long line. Basically snaked almost out of the building to check bags, get in. And so Chris got caught up in that. I ran ahead, got on the plane with Chris's blessing, made it to New York here for Thursday media availability day here at over at Yankee Stadium. Just got back from that. So still awaiting Chris's arrival, still a couple more days before the game. Hopefully he gets here soon and safely. But yeah, we're here. Indiana's here. Duke's obviously here too. Both teams have kind of taken in the city. Actually, both of them were at the New York Stock Exchange this morning for that opening bell ceremony. Kevin Wilson, Anthony Corsaro, Andre Booker, and Nick Mangieri were all there for that opening bell ceremony. Kevin Wilson obviously started the day with a big fist pump and neat little photo op for both teams and bowl executives, stuff like that. It's been first few days here in New York. Indiana got here Monday evening. Really mixture of both practices and some of the sightseeing opportunities that come with a bowl and a trip like this. They went to a comedy club. Caroline's on Broadway saw Hannibal Buress on, I believe, Tuesday night. Wednesday went to the Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular with the Rockettes. Afterward, got to see the Empire State Building, sort of a glow with the cream and crimson colors along with some Duke blue. So really both a festive atmosphere here in New York City and also an atmosphere that's really seems to be pretty excited about the Pinstripe Bowl. It seems like the Yankees are doing a pretty good job staging things and getting everything going on that end and putting the football stuff together too. But yeah, today was the media day. That's why we're here. Got to hear from Brian Knorr, Kevin Johns, Nate Sudfeld, Jason Spriggs, Marcus Oliver, and Nick Mangieri, just kind of chatting about a few things. Really not a very newsy day per se. Don't really get to really touch on a lot of the injury updates without Kevin Wilson. He'll meet with us tomorrow morning or sometime around noon tomorrow. We'll be back at the stadium to hear from Kevin Wilson and Coach Cutcliffe from Duke. So as of now, really no new updates on Jordan Howard or really some of those defensive guys that I would like to get back, namely especially Andre Brown, a guy who's had some up and down moments during his freshman year, but nonetheless a guy who's played a few games there at corner. They could use some depth there at the position. So we'll find out more about injuries tomorrow. Today was kind of just a day about catching up, just kind of chatting with guys, really just feeling the pulse of the team. And right now it seems like a real confident bunch. This was something that they touched on right after that Pinstripe Bowl selection a couple weeks ago. I mean, they're not here just for the vacation stuff. They're not here just for the Empire State Building stuff. All that stuff is really cool. It really is. It's really neat. But Indiana wants to win. They are here to really kind of, for lack of a better term, put a bow on the season and kind of end on a much brighter note after 6-6 and pulling out 2 wins to close the year. I mean, this is a team that recognizes, especially on that defensive side of the ball, that they can leave a real positive, lasting impression on this season as potentially the one that kind of turns this program in a more sustainable, positive direction. That's kind of what I talked to Marcus Oliver and Brian Knorr about today, was just putting that step forward and getting that defensive side of the ball in a position where, despite some of the ups and the many downs of this season, that they can really go into the offseason, go into those January workouts, that spring ball stuff, everything, really go in there with a much more positive mindset. Forget maybe for a moment the body of work, which is a little bit more unfortunate, but kind of go in there with a much more positive outlook if they can put together a good game on Saturday. That's really the focus of this team. It's probably goal number one outside of winning the game, is really getting that defense in a position where it can play well and build some momentum going into a pretty important offseason for the program. As far as some guys who might be back, it sounds like Andre Brown could be back. He's been practicing. That would certainly give a big boost. I think really an extremely important thing is just these last 3 weeks and the time that it's afforded a guy like Leon Thornton to frankly learn the position at cornerback. He's a guy who went into that Maryland game, I think, on November 21st, only having 3, maybe 4 practices at the position, kind of a last-minute guy they had to throw in there because it just needed guys, and he really wasn't emerging as a receiver on the offensive side of the ball. So they moved him over to corner. They've really honestly happy with his play over the last 2 weeks, especially for a guy who really doesn't have a big base to really lean on as far as experience at that corner position. I think he's got something like 9 tackles, 7 solo stops. Even had a really nice open field tackle on Will Likely in that Maryland game. So that's been big, just getting guys practiced, getting them back into kind of a routine, but also resting and getting guys a little healed up. I heard prior to this week that Danny Friend actually might be a go on the offensive side of the ball, which would be huge, especially for that running game, which we probably won't know until tomorrow, the status of Jordan Howard, though quite honestly, in Kevin Wilson's world, he likes to keep that stuff as under wraps as possible. From what it sounds like, though, it sounds like there's a pretty good possibility Jordan Howard could go. Obviously, we'll see what Kevin Wilson says tomorrow. And if not, obviously, IU is pretty intrigued with, or encouraged, I should say, with some of the recent production from Divine Redding and those guys back there. I mean, anytime you put anyone behind that offensive line, you're going to get some nice 3-4 yard gains at a time. Actually, it's kind of fitting. Indiana's been out here again, like I said, since Monday. They've been practicing at Fordham University, which is home of the famous 7 Blocks of Granite. I believe that 1936, 1937 team, renowned for their offensive line. Hasn't really been a big topic. I was kind of asking guys if they'd asked Spriggs about it, asked Kevin Johns about it. That hasn't really come up in the locker room, but they actually do have a Vince Lombardi locker in the locker room. It's kind of like sealed off plexiglass, it looks like, or at least what it sounds like. Greg Fry, offensive line coach, put a picture on Twitter showing the Vince Lombardi locker. But yeah, I thought that was kind of fitting. As good as Indiana's offensive line has been this year, that they're kind of here at the home of the one of the better units or more renowned units in the history of college football. So that's pretty neat. Like I said, schedule for tomorrow is Kevin Wilson, David Cutcliffe at around noon or so, 12:30. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but we'll check in with them, and obviously I'll check in with you guys afterwards. Assuming that Chris Howell gets here, really, I am expecting him shortly. He's going to hang with the team tomorrow. The team is actually taking a trip to the 9/11 Memorial, and they're going to go, take in the sights there. And Chris is going to go shoot some photos and come back and put a gallery up and have something short on the website about their trip to the memorial there. Otherwise, we'll be at Yankee Stadium tomorrow. This is my second trip to Yankee Stadium. Actually, the first time I was wearing this hat. I don't know why I brought this back to New York, by the way, but I was wearing this hat, sitting in the upper deck, got a beer thrown at me. It was about the 6th or 7th inning of an Orioles-Yankees game. Orioles were losing. I was coming back to my seat, and a guy a couple rows up was really harassing me, threw a beer at me, and that to this point has been my only real Yankee Stadium memory. Hope to have many more positive, encouraging memories than that. We'll see. Won't be wearing that hat, though. I'm just going to leave that here in the hotel. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to have a few more stuff. We're rolling out some stuff on the scoop this evening, tomorrow morning, and like I said, we will be checking in with Kevin Wilson and folks tomorrow, and from there, it's just about game time. Saturday at 3:30, 3:36, something like that on ABC. If you're not here in New York, you can tune in and watch. If you are, come say hello if you see me around. Getting a chance to walk around town, kind of take in the sights of the city around Christmas time. It's really cool. Never been here for Christmas. It's a pretty neat trip. So till tomorrow, guys. I'm going to sign off from here. I'm going to finish writing some stuff and go try to find some food. I don't know what my options are at this hour, but we'll see. Yeah. Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for watching.